to Old Testament Talks. Get ready to dive into the exciting world of the Old Testament, where we explore the latest miracles, jaw-dropping stories, and uncover the hidden gems of this amazing platform. Get ready for an epic journey through the captivating world God created. I'm your host, Victoria, and I am thrilled to have you join me on this exciting adventure. We will dive into the deepest parts of the Old Testament and connect these stories to our everyday lives. So grab your phone, open Spotify, and unleash the power of God together. Jesus lovers, it is finally time to meet the incredible, historical, and holy individuals who will be exploring the Old Testament with us. First up, we have Hosea, a passionate advocate for the forgiveness of others and a symbol for God's relationship with the people of Israel. Who are you under all that fame, and how are you intertwined into salvation history?
I lived in the northern kingdom of Israel around 721 BC. I married a woman named Gomer, who became unfaithful. My marriage was a symbol of God's relationship with the people of Israel. The people of Israel constantly broke the Ten Commandments and sinned. They strayed away from God doing this. In a similar way, Gomer strayed from her relationship with me and constantly sinned. Israel had built an adulterous relationship with other gods. I forgive my adulterous wife and love her again. In an even greater way, God will not forget his love for Israel, nor his promises to them. He will bring them back to their land. He will rescue them and restore them to himself and to David their king. Like the verse, they will come trembling to the Lord and to his blessings in the last days.
How did you feel while your wife was cheating on you?
Yeah, when my wife was continuing to be unfaithful, I had to be patient that God would help in order to restore my relationship with my wife. God helped me to be forgiving of Gomer's sins. And the hardest part about it was Gomer was out there committing adulterous acts, and all I could do was be patient and have trust in God.
Wow, that was mind-opening. Can your struggles be connected to like a person or an issue in the modern world?
Yes, a modern issue is the topic of forgiveness. A lot of people, it's hard for them to forgive each other. I would definitely be friends with like Michelle Obama. She's one of my biggest role models. Like when her popular quote, "When they go low, we go high," I think it reflects my mindset. Like regardless of what someone did to you, you have to be the bigger person. Go high and find somewhere in your heart to forgive them.
That is so inspirational. And now we have special guest. You know her, Michelle Obama.
I'm so glad I can inspire you. I do this for my fans.
Hi, Michelle. So hot after Michelle Obama dropped the bomb in this room. I have to take my blazer off. God says, in that day I will make a covenant for them to make them lie down safely. Can you explain to me in your own words what this means to you?
Yes, Jesus made a covenant with God's people in which God's people are born again and made new creatures before they were out of communion with him. Now humans delight in God and delight in God's law.
Okay, thank you so much, Hosea. You have some really wise words. I'm definitely looking up to you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Psalm 103. He will not always chide, nor will he keep his anger forever. He does not deal with us according to our sins, nor repay us according to our iniquities. For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his steadfast love toward those who fear him. As far as the east is from the west, so far does he remove our transgressions from us. By me, David.
My song is, he will not hold any anger or grudge. He will guide me to do the right thing even after sin. He will forgive me when I come to him. I should forgive too, for he had given himself for me. Lord, you are my love, my life, my all in all. I will praise you at the end.
Go to the front lines and die.
David broke a bunch of the Ten Commandments. Example, adultery. He felt bad and he searched for God's forgiveness. God forgave him and that gave him strength. The best part was getting closer to God.
David, tell me about yourself.
Peter identifies me as a patriarch. I wasn't a patriarch of the Jewish people like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Jacob's son, but I did have a strong hand in establishing Israel as a nation. And I was the patriarch of the line of David, of whom Jesus is the culmination and promise.
That's so interesting. Tell me more about your connection to salvation history.
As king, prophet, and shepherd, I hold a place in the history of salvation between Adam and Christ, as a representation of humanity seeking reconciliation with God. I was one of God's most faithful servants, even though I messed up and I always found my way back. When I listened and trusted God, things went well for me. Like when I fought Goliath, the strongest man in the land, and won.
What are the details of your covenant with God?
God promised me that an eternal king from David's line will reign forever. The eternal king is promised if they build a temple. The symbol of my covenant is a temple, and the beneficiary is me and my kingdom.
How did Jesus fulfill your covenant?
Jesus' birth and life fulfill the covenant. He is from my line, and Jesus is the eternal king spoken of. His temple is the church in a spiritual sense.
Okay, that's actually really cool. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your life and how you felt as God chose you.
My story begins with my humble beginnings as a shepherd boy, but I quickly rose to prominence when I defeated the giant Goliath with just a sling and a stone with God's help. I went on to become the trusted advisor to King Saul, but after Saul's death, I was anointed as the new king of Israel. When God chose me, I was nervous. I was only a humble lad of Israel, but over time I realized that God chose me for a reason. I became confident in myself, and God's reasons became clear. I was perfect for the job as king.
Wow, God really works in mysterious ways. How is your life similar to Jesus' life?
Jesus, like me, had humble beginnings. He was the adopted son of a carpenter. Neither of us were supposed to become king according to the humans, but God had other plans. He helped me and Jesus to overcome struggles in my life. My life was the foreshadowing of Jesus.
Wow, like your resemblance is so cool. So Samuel said, First Samuel says, David defeated Goliath with a sling and a rock. He killed him without even using a sword. David ran over and pulled out Goliath's sword, then he used it to cut off Goliath's head. So this is a very interesting verse, and it kind of showcases your life fighting Goliath. But can you tell me the death, the resurrection of this verse, how it affected you?
Death was me calling Goliath, but that was also new life for me. Before Goliath, I was a sheltered boy. After I was a powerful boy following God's chosen path for me.
You can't defeat me.
With the power of God, I can. There is Goliath fighting the measly David. David will get crushed. Goliath is stronger, but David has the power of God. Oh my gosh. David is with Goliath.